genetic material got to be in this phase of the game.
I mean, it's a good point. It's a good point. I can't argue. I can't argue. I'm just well, just so everyone knows. I mean, it's just us this week, but I'm talking to everybody right now. Um, we started the stream a little bit abruptly. I think that's called a cold open, what we just did. But
Excellent.
just in case people were wondering when they do stumble across this video again, we were just discussing two things. One, um, the horrid display that is the Westminster Dog Show. Well, depending on what side of the fence you're on. And also, we would just kind of figure out whether or not slavery ended too early. But I don't know if we're allowed to have that conversation here on YouTube because you know the standards and everything. But I think it's worth it's worth a little bit of pushing and pulling there to see what we can discover. There's obviously some kind of problem going on. But before we get to that, I do have to say that I think this dog show, it could be like, what do they call it, a dog whistle, when they have something that everybody doesn't know what's going on, but only the people who know. So when you sound off, they hear it, but nobody else hears it. This could be a
Yep.
dog whistle for the people who just miss the days where, like, they have to have something to put on parade, show their ability to control genetics. This is a eugenics experiment. Think about how many dogs that they know don't fit. Like this poodle. We're looking at a poodle right now. Actually, let me share the screen so you can see it too. But we're looking at a poodle right now, right? And I think people who are professionals, they probably know which poodles are going to be, at least get close to being, prize winners when they're adults. They can probably look at a 8-week old poodle and be like, nah, this motherfucker ain't got it. What do you think happens to those? Do they just go like to the dog market, they get sold at pet shops, or do they just put them in a blender and feed them to the other dogs?
China.
Oh, right.
You
Yeah,
look at that
yeah.
dude. That dude is just like, yeah, I don't think this one's good enough.
Yeah, we're going to
Might
have
have
to
to
let
put
this
him in
one
the
live.
food bin. Yeah.
We're going to have to let him live. He's pretty nice. I like the tail. Legs are pretty good. But if he scores low again like he did last year, we're putting him on the grill. He looks
How is this?
terrified.
How is this not genetic shaming? There's fat shaming.
It is.
There's all kinds of different shaming. I mean, what
He,
creature
he just blew in his
is
mouth. Okay, you going?
is just is just put on display and explored that way?
It's ridiculous, bro. It is this right here shows you.
That's a nice clean shot of his assholes and genitals, though.
Oh,
That was a
yeah, that was not lost on me. I saw what was happening there. I didn't want to mention it directly, but there could be a little bit of that going on too. You never know if they can put adult jokes in children's cartoons, to amuse the adults who are watching it. Who knows what they slip into dog shows?
and just to be clear, let's look at that icon there for NBC. Clearly a supporter of white supremacy.
Oh yeah, 100%. You see what's standing right in the middle there is a white phallus, right in the middle of all the other colors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gather round. Gather round.
yeah. I don't think a
Let
lot of
me
people know
organize
that,
you.
but originally NBC was started during slavery, and all they did was,
Yep.
broadcast the comings and goings of the slave ships, and like that was the original news broadcast. That they was like, 47 new niggers just came in, so head downtown and have your shiny new quarters ready to make a bid on a big strong buck. Like that. That's what they did originally. So and technically it hasn't changed much since then. I
It
mean,
actually originally stood for no black cocks, and it was a campaign to make sure women only lusted after white penises.
right? That's true. That's
And that's
true.
why the white phallic symbol is in the middle, and all the other color penises of color are bowing before it.
Well, it
That is
didn't work out
NBC.
too well. It didn't work out too well. Turns out,
It backfired. They kept
turns
saying no
out,
black cocks, no black cocks, and all white women heard was black cocks,
that's all they heard.
black cocks.
That's
You're
usually
saying
how it
black cocks.
works. That's usually how it works. When you try to ban something from somebody, it just instills an insatiable lust for it. I'm not sure why the simulation works that way, but whenever you try to ban somebody from something, you tell them don't do it. This is not what you want. They're like, I kind of think I want it. That's just how it is. I mean, so when you try to ban people from a specific shade of genitals, guess what they're gonna have a taste for? No pun intended, but they're gonna have a taste for it. And there's nothing you can do to wash that taste out of their mouth. There's nothing you can do to get rid of it. This is who they are deeply. But yeah, this dog show is absolutely amazing. Is somebody like forcing you to watch it? Are you okay over there? What's going on, bro?
No, no, no. I thought about it. It was one of those things where I had been thinking, I had been pondering, and I don't know why I never saw it that way before. I don't, but I just really started thinking about it. I think what happened was, I stumbled across in my YouTube rabbit hole diving, um, something about how there's a certain, I don't know if it's a pug or a bulldog, I don't know, but it was something like about how, because those were the desirable traits, like, oh, we want the face as flat as possible, and whenever we humans figure out how to tinker with something, we go too far. Like, hey, this caffeine will kind of put a pep in our step. Let's grind it up and make fucking cocaine. Let's get fucked up. Like, we take it too far. So we figured out something like, oh, it kind of helps, I guess, grabbing the ring of the bull, like by the nose, to kind of get it down and tame it. So flat faces are where it's at. So let's just keep making dogs fuck till all of their faces are flat. And they just didn't do that for, like, there wasn't just like these weird people on a farm, right in the middle of nowhere, like that were like the, what was it, the Crannisters or whatever in Game of Thrones, just some dude in the middle of the woods fucking his daughters. Like, this was just, no, we're gonna make the dogs fuck, but it was a phenomenon of that area. Like, no, we know about this. We've passed this down to our kids. We've passed along dying wishes to our children to say, keep making sure that the dogs with the same features keep fucking. It's an inheritance for your children. Make sure they keep doing it. And I don't know, that's just a level of commitment that I think, I don't know, it kind of speaks to the reason why, I don't know. I guess there is white supremacy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a flex. Like, there was these ravenous wolves. You can't fuck with a wolf. A pack of wolves will fuck you up. You're not making it out. If you're unarmed, the pack of wolves is winning. There's not much you can do. They're vicious. But we figured out, like, yo, these dogs like to fuck. They're kind of dangerous, but let's just make some friends and let them keep fucking until they get really short legs. They get really small snout. Now they're basically bitches. Now they can fit in teacups.
Mm.
They don't pose a threat anymore. Like, we use the ability to lure them by way of their lust of fucking, to the point that we can make them docile and we can control them. I mean, it's kind of a metaphor for world domination and making a docile public. It's
Exactly.
impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. So they never stopped their work. They just went clandestine. They went underground with it. And, they figured out a way to launder a little bit of money, make a TV show out of it. Who knows what other kind of nefarious activities is going on. Think about this. So however many times this happens, I know it's probably a bunch of times throughout the year, and then whenever it's time, everything culminates in this one big show, right? So when everything does culminate in this one big show, and these people are moving and shuffling and everything's happening, you think people are like really checking all the cages and boxes and all that kind of shit? Like, what's in there? Oh, it's dog food. It's just wet wipes. Don't worry about it. I guess there's some wee pads in there. Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. This could be a whole operation for some whole other shit. Anything could be happening. You can't tell me that there's this much fanfare over some dogs. It can't be. That can't be the bottom line. Something else is going on here. It's psychological. It's a shout out to slavery. Something else is happening. It's not. It can't just be a dog show. There's no way. I don't accept that.
Is the Westminster Dog Show sponsored by National Geographic?
Okay. Okay. So you might be onto something there. We got to start looking for the threads and the connections between the Westminster Dog Show. See, this is how you build a healthy conspiracy theory. You just start cross-referencing information until you come up with something that can be easily painted as nefarious. I mean, it's already nefarious. It's already nefarious. It's dog eugenics paraded in front of the whole world. Like, didn't we stop a whole bunch of people who thought there was like a master race, and like didn't wasn't there a whole war about that kind of thing? And now that's basically what this is, right? I mean, is it me, or is this just like canine Nazi program?
Well, I think that the people that make the dogs fuck had more fashionable mustaches.
Oh yeah,
I
that's for
think
sure.
I think the mustache was such a bad choice stylistically that it just made those eugenics less tolerable. I guess maybe if I don't know, he had made better decisions with his facial hair, maybe.
Yeah, he kind of ruined it there
I'm
for a lot of
guessing.
people. Yeah, that's possible.
They stopped listening to him. It's like, look, I got a lot of great ideas. You know, the same shit we did with dogs. Let's just and people just tuned him out. It's like I didn't hear his fucking mustache is ridiculous. I didn't hear a word he said.
Yeah, I can't do it with the mustache. That's ridiculous. Westminster, I haven't even thought about that in who knows how long, but when you
I
said
can't
it, I was
stop
like,
thinking about
shit,
it.
dude, I remember that. I remember how important it felt. Like, even though I had no interest in it, it felt like it was important. It felt like it was something that deserved respect or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, but and then the closer you look, you like these are just psychos with dogs, and they figured out a way to make themselves not look like complete psychopaths. They figured out a way to make it look like they were normal, and this is just something people do, and whatever, whatever. Maybe it's the suits and like the whole, they got a nice little carpet there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of spell they're pulling on everybody, but that's not regular. That's not a normal thing. That's yeah. I should we should be a little bit worried about all the people who participate in that thing. If we know where the January 6th rioters are, we should definitely know where the people who visit and spend money and all of that shit at the Westminster Dog Show. We should definitely know where they are. 100%. What are they
They're
doing with the rest of their
definitely
lives?
they're bringing back Wayfair cabinets
Yep.
without a doubt.
Yep. No question. No question. Everyone involved, especially at the highest levels. Like if you get eliminated in the early rounds, then maybe you don't know enough. You're not as deeply involved enough to get the inside track, to get the inside information. You don't get none of the shipments of adrenochrome that come and nothing like that. You're just a lowly dog handler. Well, for the people who actually win and make money, if this is something that you put, like, if this is part of your income, like you made a life out of this. You breed dogs and you've won a future, like they know who you are. Once you get up that high, you are definitely 100% involved in shady Wayfair cabinets that are unusually heavy if they're empty. That's what's going on with you. Westminster Dog Show, heavy Wayfair cabinets, funny smell coming from your freezer and your garage. All of those things go hand in hand.
I'm convinced. I don't even need to do any more research.
Right? Yeah.
I think our job is done here.
I could just go on TikTok and be like, have any of you ever made the connection between the Westminster Dog Show, Wayfair, and National Geographic? If not, do more research and then just shut the video off. Send everybody on a goose chase and let the internet build my conspiracy theory for me. After a month or two, when they've gathered enough information, I'll come back. I'll take some notes and then I'll do a full video on it. But for now, I just need to get them started, get the ball rolling.
I mean, and they're gonna really do the bulk of the research anyway.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna go in depth. They're gonna go all through. They're gonna navigate all of the horrors of BitChute comments, and they're gonna get to the bottom of it. They're gonna do the research that we weren't willing to do.
It's a fact.
So, I think we did our part. We do the thinkery, the think tankery. We kind of get the picture and we connect some of the dots, but then I think we give it to the web for them to do the rest. I think that's the model.
I love it. That's a smart business model. You delegate, let them take care of it, and it's they're all volunteers, so they don't even want to be paid. They'll do it on their own time, and then they'll publish the results for free. Sounds like a perfect scheme to me. Not even scheme. That's just a good business model, like you said. That's just smart.
Make these dogs with flat faces fuck.
Yeah.
Make them continue to fuck until none of them can breathe. And then someday we'll be able to ship children in cabinets because people will be so enthralled with the flat faces of the dogs that we made fuck for a millennia.
A bulldog that can survive the night without a CPAP machine is not a bulldog. It's not even a fucking dog. It's an
Don't even bring it to
abomination.
the show. if you if it doesn't show up with an oxygen tank, you shouldn't even be in Westminster.
Right.
You're a Westminster dog contestant with no oxygen mask.
Right.
Why did you come here?
If this dog doesn't go from a hyperbaric chamber to the show floor and then back to the hyperbaric chamber, he's not going to win.
Yeah.
If he can sustain his own life without machines and shit like that and constant injections and like if he can just walk around and live like a normal animal, I don't think this is the place for him.
You know what the next level is? The next level is like, yeah, we're gonna take him off the hyperbolic breathing chamber. We've finally gotten to concave, ladies and gentlemen. His mouth is actually inward. He's actually it's again, and that was the solution. His face is so flat, it's began to go concave inward, and so he's constantly sucking in air. This was the solution. So we had some tough times when we got the flat, but we just kept making him fuck until we got the concave, and then it fixed itself. This is the ingenuity that can only come with the people who are supreme.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I can't even front. I mean, what else do you do when you're that high on the social scale and you have that much power and influence? It's like, well, we've
And
out
leisure time.
leisure time. You kicking back, you chilling, you got good credit, inheritance money in the bank making money for you. You ain't really got to do nothing. You just sitting back thinking, like, what can I do with myself? I don't have any purpose. I don't, you know what I'm saying? You're getting all depressed and but then it just dawns on you one day, like, you know what? I think I should just do what my forefathers did and fuck around with other people's genetics, other beings' genetics. Maybe not people, that's illegal. We can't do that no more. But you know what? I think that dog and that dog should have sex. I'm interested to see what the puppies look like. All right, I guess. I mean, there's worse ways you could spend your time besides overseeing the
Absolutely.
sexual exploits of animals. I guess it's not that weird if you think about it. I mean, there's worse things you could be doing, but it's a little bit for that to be your entire job. I know somebody who breeds dogs. He only breeds one type of dog, and it's like the hypoallergenic. What are they
Yeah.
called? Like doodles, labradoodles,
Yeah.
or all that kind of shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is interesting because I mean I get it because that's like a not just like a dog. It's a dog for people who are allergic to dogs, which means you probably shouldn't even want a dog. But that's not my business. If you're allergic to dogs, it seems like
Let
you're
nature stop us.
right. It seems
Fuck
like
you,
your
nature.
genetic profile is trying to tell you something. It's like, nah, fuck that.
No, we insist. Listen, if we made these dogs fuck until they got little feet for hundreds of years, we're not stopping now. We're not stopping now just because we're allergic to them. We'll make them fuck until they grow the right kind of hair. You don't get off the train. You just it's like when your car is going off the road, you steer into it. You
Right.
steer in, you just lean in and you're like, "No, we'll make them fuck more till they grow the right kind of hair." Did these dogs make you sneeze? No, they didn't make me sneeze. Make them fuck. Make them
But
fuck and make sure your children find these dogs and then make them and then you start running out of dogs. So then you got to start recruiting the children dogs. All
yeah.
right, I made you guys fuck. Now I need your children to fuck and their children to fuck. I need you guys fucking and making more of yourselves as fast as you
At
possibly
all
can.
times. At all
Get in
times.
there and make some more of you with the features I need because they're adorable.
That is definitely some deeply white supremacist shit. To be like, I'm allergic to dogs, so instead of not having a dog, what I'll do is create an extreme breeding program until we find a dog who grows the right type of hair that doesn't make me sneeze or itch. Because it's my right as a human to own one of you.
I deserve this.
I deserve it. You think I'm gonna just go through my whole life with nothing that depends on me for food and shelter, nothing that is happy to see me when I get back home? I'm just
It's
gonna
fucking
just not
ridiculous.
own this thing and throw a stick and make it fetch it. Like I'm just gonna not have that experience in life. Fuck that.
And you
Start the
know I
breeding.
can.
Start the breeding. I'm gonna get on Amazon tomorrow. I'm gonna order 50 kennel cages, and it's on. It's going down. We gotta find them. Fucking doodles, bro. Well, nobody is anybody trying to take like the take the murder gene out of the peanut for people who have peanut allergies?
Nope.
Does anybody even care like what the
Nobody
component is?
cares.
Like there's got to be like, because that's how the movies work, right? It's like it's not just the entirety of the peanut. There's like this one molecule in the peanut that kills you, and if you can get that out, then everybody can enjoy peanut butter and peanut brittle and like all the other shit that kills y'all motherfuckers. So
Nope.
why no? Why is nobody trying to figure that out?
Don't care. Don't care. Do we get to watch dogs fuck?
Well, see,
No,
that's the
not
key.
interested.
That's the key right there.
It
Do
is.
we get to watch anything fuck?
It's creepy, and it's a flex of leisure. Like, well, what do we know? We've built castle walls. Nobody's getting in here. No, no, no. We've got the feudal system. The peasants are under control. We fuck their wives, and they do whatever we say. We're good. We have food for at least the next 10 winters. We are good. Now what
Great.
do you want to do? Let's make these dogs fuck to get the adorable features we want. This is what it's just the height of civilization. You've arrived, you've got plenty of leisure, you've attended to everything else. Nobody's even close. This is high stepping into the end zone. Other parts of the world are like, yo, I don't know how to make the thatch on the top of the hut stay in place. I don't know. We're still got some engineering issues here. Listen, I don't know. I haven't mixed the clay right. The adobe caved in and killed Oliver. It was fucked up. There was problems all over the world. Not there. Like, dude, we figured this out. Nobody's even close. Nobody's even coming for us. We've won the race by a country mile. It's time to get into the leisure of overseeing the fuck habits of dogs to get what we want. And I'll go so far as to say it's biblical. Isn't there a story in the Bible of Jacob making the goats
Yep.
fuck a certain way?
Yep.
He's like, and I don't even know if that's scientific. It was something like, look, if they fuck by the river, then they're gonna have spots. I don't know if that's scientific or not.
Not
But
like somebody
still,
making excuses to watch animals fuck. To me.
it's white supremacy. The instinct is there. It's like, look, I got to make sure these goats fuck so that I get the spotted ones. Those are gonna be mine. He doesn't want any spots on his goats. Now I figured out they taste the fucking same. But this dude is suspicious or superstitious. He thinks that God needs the goats with no spots on them. Cool. I'll make them fuck for spots. So there is a legacy of white supremacy directly attached to having knowledge about how animals fuck and what we get out of them. I don't know. I see an unbroken through line here.
Damn.
It's biblical.
It is. It absolutely is. I can't argue there. It does go back a long way. This is a tried and true aspect of humanity. When you're bored and you're laying around, you got nothing else to do, you're herding your sheep, you could kick your feet up and you're like, what can I do to, one, have fun, two, oversee the sex habits of these animals? Because I definitely need to watch these animals screw, and I need to impart some influence to it. Like I can't just let them sniff each other out and screw who they want to screw. I don't think that's going to be good enough. That's not acceptable. I need to decide because there's no way that this German Shepherd knows who it should give its womb to. And there's no way that this other German Shepherd knows who it should be sticking its penis in. There's no way for a dog to figure that out in any meaningful way. I don't think so. I don't think when a dog sniffs another, he's like, you know what? Good genes. This was going to have a long, beautiful coat. He's like, no, I'm just going to smash that shit and whatever happens, happens. And they're like, this is unacceptable. This is not how you do the sex. We need somebody to oversee this. Not her, not her. No, she's terrible. This is the one you want. This sweet little bitch right here. This is the one for you. And then you make a career out of it. And then you employ thousands of other people. All the camera people are there. All the people who bring all the products and set up the event halls, and the people who make all the fucking passes and the laminated fucking shit that you wear in your neck. The hotels are getting business. There's a whole system stacked up on top of this because somebody likes to watch dogs bone. That may be an oversimplification. I'm just being, But I mean, when it comes down to it, that's what's happening. These people And now because of the internet, right? They don't even rely on the dogs being in person anymore. It's like a rappers doing a feature, and in two different cities, they just email the verses back and forth to each other. Like it used to be, you get the dogs together, you put them in a room, you let nature take its course. Now, you best believe 100% there's some guy who's on his hands and knees right now milking a bulldog. He's milking a bulldog, and he's going to be mailing out vials to people who saw his bulldog on the internet. They saw him on the internet. They looked at him. They saw his teeth and they saw his jowls hanging, and they got a little tingle down below. And they were like, "Oh yeah, my dog's gonna love this. This is the cream she needs inside. This is the sperm my dog needs inside her." And he's gonna order it. He's gonna order it, and he's gonna trust that the dog he saw in the picture is the sperm that he's gonna get in his vial, and he's gonna receive that vial in the mail, and he's gonna artificially inseminate his own bulldog with it, and he's gonna have a bunch of little bulldogs that may not survive the night because they can't breathe. But this is the price you pay for perfection. There's an entire industry. There's a whole people have built their whole lives around this by now at this point. Not a hobby anymore, people. This is the fucking Westminster Dog Show. Get your shit together. You know there's somebody like that there too that works there. Like there's some lady with a clipboard and she ain't taking no shit. People are just standing around the hallway talking about their dogs and giggling and showing pictures on their phone. And she's like, "This isn't some bullshit meeting at your local cul-de-sac, people. This is fucking Westminster. Get it together."
Yeah, she's disgusted at the lack of sacred honor and reverence.
Dog shows, bro. I love it. I love it. Fuck it. This lets you know humans ain't doing. Maybe they're not doing. This one's bald. That's a full size bald dog. I think that's like the Anubis one, right? The Egyptian dog they call it. Let me put this back on screen just for a second here. This shit's weird, bro. It is, and I don't like to call people's things weird. You
Me
know, because
neither.
it's like you just do what you do. Who cares? Just because I don't do it doesn't make it weird. But this feels a little weird to me. It feels like this dog right here. There's not a lot of places on the planet where that dog survives naturally.
Nowhere.
I can't think of a place. It'd have to be like the perfect temperature. Even then, if it rains or anything like that, he's naked, bro. Like what if he's a stray dog? What if he's just out in the world? Like a lot of stray dogs are. This dog ain't gonna be able to
Hypothermia.
sleep in an alleyway and shit like that. He's gonna die.
He's
He's
dead
gonna
by
die.
morning.
Dead by morning. This dog does not survive in the natural world. And the fact that you would take it and force it to survive, because that's what you're doing. You're not rescuing it and nothing like that. You're gonna this is just terrible. It's just you're gonna force it to survive under abnormal circumstances. And not only do you force it to survive, like that's not enough for you. It's not enough to like how white celebrities adopt African children. And then you just get the rest of your life to look at this person like you probably would have died with flies in your eyes if it wasn't for me. And then
I
you get
saved
to,
you.
yeah, you get to celebrate that every day for the rest of your life. There's nothing they could ever say. They can't be like, "You pissed me off, mom." It's like, "Bitch, you want to go back to the Sudan?" I didn't think
And look
so.
like a good person too, because um, dog people are always kind of flexing about how much they love dogs and they care about dogs.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, it's a rescue. I got about 5 of them. I can't stand to see them suffer."
What is this
Oh
supposed to
man,
look
you're
like?
awesome. You
Yeah.
care.
And that's what it is. It's not enough for you to just rescue it and have it alive in your presence. You need a reward. You know what? Celebrities should do this with their international children. Angelina Jolie should get to walk
Oh, the West Hollywood
West Hollywood
adoption show.
adopted child show. Uh,
The adopted child show. And it's just like a fashion show. There's a talent competition.
Yep. Yeah, there's a
Somebody
little.
comes up and grabs their nuts and sniffs their ass and checks in their mouth.
Yeah, and you can't react because you lose points. Like if I
Yep.
come up behind this dog and I touch his balls and he looks back at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You lose points. This
Yeah.
dog's balls haven't been touched enough. He's not desensitized to it. He looked at me like he wanted to bite me. You do the same thing with these foreign children. Just walk them around. You know, there'll be like a little obstacle course for them. They could just slide through the little tube and all that kind of shit. Everything, all of it. Get it going, bro. But like I said, it's not enough that you rescue it and let it live. But you need to put it on display and win an award for it. And I think Hollywood celebrities would love to win awards for the work they've done,
I
bringing all
mean,
the little
and also
kids.
too, like they always make it about some epic issue when they give their speeches. It's like, yo, you did a really great performance in this movie, pretending to be somebody else to distract us for an hour and a half. Here's millions of dollars in a decadent lifestyle. You know what I care about? I care about what's going on in Tibet. What about the child soldiers of Darfur? Why are we here with these plates of food? Yeah, I wore a fucking nice gown. Of course I did. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I needed to because this is a public display, but I don't care about all of that pomp. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that we focus on what matters. And you know what that is? It's this cause that I'm bringing up now. So, I feel like this is a better thing. I mean, the Emmys and or not Emmys, but go whatever those award shows are, they're trailing off in popularity. But if you just set up on the same night or around the same time the Hollywood adopted children show, I don't think anybody would even care. I think you would see a huge award shows wouldn't even exist anymore. But like, what's the point? We know the films are good. Who cares? That's not what's important. What does your adoptive children look like? Do they know how to twirl a baton? Can they answer a question about what they would do if they were in charge of education? Right? Does your adoptive child know how to do that yet?
And you got to give all the information when it goes up. You know, he's going to ask you questions. You know, where's it from? How long have you had it? And what's the over under on the gender? Like, got a boy, turned it into a girl. Got a girl, turned it into a boy. It's like, okay, bonus points. Bonus points for not leaving it the way it was when you got it. Good job. We appreciate that around here. It's like extra credit. If you adopted a boy from Africa and 3, 4 years later it's still a boy, you're kind of failing as a parent. In Hollywood, anyway.
Yeah.
Other places, I'm not sure. But if you adopt a boy in Hollywood and it's not a girl, by the end of the year, you're dragging ass.
Why does Mubumba still have his penis, Shirley? Why?
Like, I haven't decided whether I'm going to use it or not in a few years.
Angelina, Tariq hasn't transitioned. What is going on?
He hasn't expressed any desire to become. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Express any desire? What does that got to do with anything? You want to win Westminster or not? You want to win the West Hollywood fucking adopted child pageant or not?
I don't think I can be your agent anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you want it bad enough. I can't want it more than you do. Look, the adopted child show is in 6 months. You need to start flooding your Instagram with pictures of your child transitioning immediately, because the judges are gonna look. They're gonna. You can't just show up with fucking Shaheed in a dress. They're gonna know. They're
Brad
gonna see right through it. It's not gonna work.
Bradley Cooper has just taken his seventh child to the clinic to get its dick sawed in half and shoved into his pelvis as a vagina. He's done 7 children in the last 14 months. You're not going to be able to compete.
This is. I feel like we're stumbling onto something that might get us in trouble.
Nah,
You
man,
know.
10 years, it'll be a thing. In less than 10 years, and it may not be as on the nose as the West Hollywood adoptive child, but there'll be something like Star Search or something. There'll be some reality show about the adoptive children of Africa living in Hollywood. There'll be something along that, something in that vein. It's coming.
Yeah. It feels real. I'm kind of surprised it's not already happening when you put it in those terms. If you got like Real Housewives and all this other shit, how come you don't have like adopted child Olympics by now? Not Olympics, but you know, some type of adopted child pageantry. Maybe they do have it and they think we're not ready yet, so it's just held underground like a kumite. It's like
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? The world's not ready for this.
right. That they definitely doing it already. They're already doing it. It's just unsanctioned, adopted international children on a promenade walk somewhere in West Hollywood right now. It sounds dangerous, but it's not. That's not the dangerous part. That's literally just. It's the fashion. It's the talent. You know, it's nothing weird going on at that show, because that's the it's enough going on in West Hollywood already. You don't got to taint everything. Actually, you become the alternative when you're not doing any funny business. They're like, oh, you mean that alternative place where they really just let the kids do the talent, like let them read poetry and answer questions and stuff? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. That's
Yeah,
all
the
they do.
one's not sponsored by Nat Geo. You know that
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
that's the secret question right there. Like, yeah, are you going to the West Hollywood? Like, is which one is that? Like, is it on the Nat Geo? Is it sponsored by Nat Geo? No, not this one. I don't think so. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe I might be busy. Might be busy. You can check the list
Yeah.
of the sponsors on the app. Like, nah, I didn't see Nat Geo as a sponsor, so I think I'm gonna get a latte and do some hot yoga. But if you see Nat Geo on that list of sponsors, it's like, oh yeah, I'll be there. Wouldn't miss it for the world. That's what's happening. And again, the update for anybody who might not know. And oh, by the way, I did see that dog. That dog was like a weird African bald dog, pharaoh hound or some shit like that. But this is only alive because of human intervention at this point. I don't believe that this thing could stay alive this long on its own. Unless something else is
Absolutely
going
not.
on. It looks like it's really susceptible to just a lot of shit. Like it just looked like it would just die an excruciating death in the wilderness, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe white folks saved it. Every now and then that does happen. White folks save something.
That's what I choose to believe.
They saved black people from themselves for a little while. And then once slavery ended, it was like, fine.
They lost interest.
We would try to show y'all something, but you wanted to cancel the program before it was over. Now, if you don't get the same results we got, you can't complain. It's like you quit the 12-step program and then you come back, you're like, yo, this shit didn't work. The community's in shambles. We fucking killing each other in record numbers. We getting 6 times more abortions than any other race of people. What the
Well, let
fuck is
me
going
ask you
on?
this. Are you letting us tell you how to fuck anymore?
Well, not
Right?
not really, but
There you
well,
go.
there you go.
There you
Do
go.
you have a Caucasian male? Do you have a cis white male overseeing your sexual
Coaching you,
exploits?
coaching you on how to fuck and where,
No.
how to fuck. Yeah, that's what you need. No, not that one. That'll never make it to the NBA.
No.
No, 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 no. It's she's too aggressive. That child is gonna have problems. He's gonna start fights for no reason. You need a docile mare. Yeah.
All right, let's start with the basics. So, what's her name? Starkeisha. Oh God. We're gonna have to do a complete overhaul on this. It's
All
gonna
right.
have to be a complete overhaul on this one.
No, and this is where racial mech stats really come in to help soften the blow because that's what the doctor shows up in with the chart. It's not we get out of it, we get away from race and and behavior and we just so your mech stat and it's just a picture of a mech and it has the little bars that go up. It's like, see, so this is gonna be the aggression meter here. See, and so what's gonna happen is there'll be problems here. And so we want to kind of lower that bar because you can't carry 20 missiles and move fast. You can have a high payload
Right.
or you can have a high number of missiles, but you can't have both. That's the trade off when you're building a mech. And breeding is no different. And we're here to help. So we have a mech based on what your baby will probably be, but it's easier to digest if we frame it in terms of mech stats. So that's what we'll do, and no one will be upset. And white people will be able to expand the territory and the reach of how and where people can fuck influence. That's going to be a win for them. And I think overall, the Westminster Dog Show is proof positive that if you put them at the helm, they'll breed the best traits
Easy. Easy.
easily. And look, and if you don't believe it, and this is just what we are. There's just it's just all of the pretense and thinking that we're special and all of just the high ideas about how great humanity is and all of our achievements, it's so just that the Westminster Dog Show would come forth from Britain. That I don't think there was an empire on earth that covered more land than Britain. But even how it got going, because it's not even Britain. Like those are all Germanic tribes, like Scandinavian tribes and shit, if I'm not mistaken. Like there were the Celts, but then the Anglos and the Saxons showed up, and they're like, "All right, we're here now. We can kill you. We're gonna fuck all your women. You're us now." And basically, they killed and fucked until they were the people. And then the Celts kind of blended in. I don't know. I guess there was some pockets that became like the Welsh or Irish and Scottish, and there was some distinctions. But ultimately, like the Anglos and the Saxons got the fucking down, and then they were upset at the Danes, and the Danes come over and like, hey, we're here to fuck until we're citizens. And the Anglos and the Saxons are like, no, no, you can't do that. We've already come here. We fucked our way into power. We showed up, we fucked the locals, we were able to kill them. Now we're in charge. And you can't just come here and do the same thing. And so a precedent was set. A precedent was set. So this is why people don't care when you talk about, oh, America, there was people here already. It doesn't matter. You show up, you fuck until you are a citizen. You show up, you kill, you fuck. Now it's your land. You belong there. It's going to be under your name. And after a couple hundred years, no one will even remember. Oh, look, the British. Well, who are the British? Well, there was some people here before, but I don't know how many made it through. Same thing with China. It's like pretty much Genghis Khan now. Uh, somebody got to do a lot of the fucking, and that's who those people are. You are the product of your fucking. And then I don't know. I think when you amass power in that way, um, you start to get a little insulated. And I think maybe now, in the infinite wisdom of the global white supremacy hive mind that runs the world, they kind of figured out like, yeah, we're getting some weird jaws and our teeth are kind of getting bad and we're getting frail. I think we got too good at fucking into citizenship and breeding amongst ourselves. And we need some genetic diversity, but the people are not open to it. Unleash the immigrants.
Unleash the immigrants.
And if you're not, gonna fuck them, don't worry. They'll find a way to fuck you. They'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, they will.
And they are aggressive breeders. And you know what? Now the gene pool is more diversified, and now Britain will become something even better. But the legacy, it all began with watching dogs fuck. That's the key takeaway.
And then they just map that onto everything else. Next thing you know, now we're here. Now we're here, all because somebody wanted to watch some dogs bang, and that turns into a plan for global domination. The only downfall was they allowed themselves to be canceled out of their plan, and they didn't stay the course. They were like, you know what? We don't like what you guys are doing. This whole slavery thing is mean. You treat women really bad unless they work in a brothel. If you smack your wives around, like we don't like it. Things need to change. And they were like, maybe you're right. And now you have parades with grown men wearing assless chaps and banging each other on the float. You know, a bunch of your sons are sawing their peckers off and getting breast implants. And your daughters are brave. You're very brave. Just not brave like storming the beach at Normandy brave, but sawing off your pecker
type of bravery.
And getting
I'm
breast
too
implants.
much of a coward to cut my dick off.
For real, I can't. I'm not doing either one of those things. So those two things go in the same folder for me. Storming the beach at Normandy and removing my penis and getting breast implants, both of those are a hard no. And for the same reason, I'm afraid of that.
You're not enough of a hero. That's a hero's journey we're not all willing to take.
It's really not me anyway. So I commend the people who did both. I commend you with the same veracity. I commend the people who stormed the beach at Normandy, and I commend the people who saw their own penises off and get breast implants. Those are both some serious. Matter of fact, you know what? This might be a controversial take, but I'm gonna have to give one. If those two were even, I gotta give one extra point to the people getting sexual reassignment surgery. You know why? just based on the fact that that surgery is elective. What percentage of people do you think chose to storm the beach at Normandy?
Mm.
What percentage of people you said put me there? I lived my whole life to die on a U-boat as
It's
soon as the
just,
door opens.
I don't know.
I flew all the way over here just to get mowed down by a machine gun as soon as the door opens. Who chose that? Or did the government say, if you don't go, I'm going to lock you up?
This makes too much sense. I can't.
I'm
This makes
sorry. I'm sorry. The people who saw their penises off, they woke up in the morning, they made a decision, and they fucking saw it through. There was no threat of jail time. There was actually, they had everything to lose just by staying themselves. They're like, no, that's not good enough. People are gonna call me names. They're gonna fucking do it. All this shit, and they say, you know what? I'm doing it anyway. Off with my cock. I don't know how. I don't know if we can say that for the beach stormers or how many. I don't know how many of them signed up and was like, yep, put me there. I don't think that happened. So just in this specific instance, I do have to give one extra point to the people who took that bravery, that undertaking electively. They chose to do it. They signed up for it. Some of them even paid money to do it. If I'm wrong, please let me know where I'm wrong. We're always open for healthy, positive discourse. If I'm wrong, just let me know. Just let me know. We will apply. What was this? Yemisar logic to breeding the blats out of existence. Blats, BLATTS. Is that like code word for bleeps? You know what? I'm gonna say this. A couple things. If your plan for getting rid of another race of people off the face of the planet is to out fuck them, I'm not mad. If that's your whole plan, we're gonna have more sex than them and we're gonna outbreed them. That's fair. I saw a tweet earlier this week. It was about, let me see, I might be able to find it. Who was that guy? It was about a social media person, and it's a trans, there it is, right? It's a trans woman, right? This is the person right there. And they made a tweet that said, I didn't, well, this person, obviously, they had bottom surgery. So they said that I didn't get bottom surgery because of body dysmorphia. I got bottom surgery so I could do my part in getting rid of the white race by not reproducing. That's what she said. That's not my take. So YouTube algorithm, let's be cool here. Let's use some context clues. This is not my personal take. This is what a white trans person said about their experience in gender reassignment. I didn't do this because of body dysmorphia. I did it because I want to do my part to stop the white race from reproducing. And I couldn't find a problem with that statement. A lot of people were mad about it. A lot of a lot of these Spartan white guys who think this is the worst time in the history of the planet for white males and the world's falling apart and nobody loves us or respects us anymore. The nuclear family is disintegrating. There's a lot of gays. There's blacks. I mean, there's a lot going on. I can't front. I'm sure from the perspective of a white person, it probably seems like the entire planet's on fire. Maybe for the first time in your existence. You've never felt like this before. You've never felt like you had um, to validate your own existence to other people. You've never been treated in a way that ostracizes or disrespects you solely based on your skin color and gender. So if like you're a jerk, you could just be a jerk, but for the first time, it's like that's a white dude, and they never felt that before. So I totally understand where that could be jarring, but that is kind of the legacy of whiteness on the planet. I mean, this is just subjective. Like nobody has mastered making other groups of people hate themselves for being themselves more than white folks. I think they tried it. The The Japanese tried it with the Chinese. They called them the sick man of Asia. They were like, we're the good Asians and y'all are the sick, lowly, terrible. So they tried it, but it wasn't as successful. It's probably been done a lot of places. It's been done in Africa for certain reasons, whether it's the Hutus and the Tutsis or different tribes, even though that was engineered by white Dutch people. But that's beside the point. This has happened on the planet before. But nobody did it as effectively. This is technically a compliment. Nobody was as good at it as white folks. They brought this concept to the world. They packaged it. Yeah, there was people on the planet squeezing oranges and drinking the juice, but nobody built a grove and a machine to squeeze the juices and to put it in a carton and sell orange juice. The white man did that. That's what you call a dunk. He was dunking, and it's his dunking efficiency that continuously pisses people off. They're like, oh, slavery. It's like, well, we weren't the first people to do slavery, but you did it better than everybody else, and you created a legacy, a superpower country, and generational wealth for a percentage of the population. Well, I mean, I was just good at it. We were just good at it. So don't be mad at us. If you're not mad at the concept of slavery, which the whole world is to blame for, you're just mad at my efficiency at slavery. That's not a valid argument. It's not a valid argument. So, like I said, this may be the first time white folks are feeling like this, but just trust the bleep when I tell you it's not as bad as it looks. This is just like, it's a little bit of temperature shock. Like when you go stick one toe in the pool and it's super cold, you can't get in. And like they got one toe in some cold water right now, and they're like, I don't like where this is going. Am I supposed to take the plunge in this? It won't be that bad. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. White guys are still at the top of the totem pole. They're still in control of everything, at least visually for the most part. All of the top people who run everything, all of the owners of the top corporations, like most of everything's still white folks. Y'all doing good. Don't worry about it. But sometimes that comes with a social side eye. And I think that's all it is right now. You're getting a little bit of a social side eye, and it's probably the first time that you're getting it not only from the brown people and the non-whites in general, but also there's a subsector of white people who don't like white people. And that's why I think it was so jarring to these guys who were reposting. First of all, why are you reposting a trans woman's tweets? Like, why are you even privy to a trans woman's tweets with all of the settings and all the barriers you want to build around, this existence? Men are men, women are women, nuclear family, like, conservative, traditional. Like, how are you even seeing a trans woman's tweets? Kind of weird, but okay. Also, again, if your only plan for disrupting the existence of white people is to not breed, I can't find a problem with that. You're not saying you're going to go actively get rid of white people. You're not saying you're going to stop them from, I'm going to put something in the water that makes them not be able to have babies. No. What's your plan? What's your evil genius plan? Saw my own pipe off.
I like it. It's good.
Okay. I mean, all right. I mean, if that's all you got, go for it, buddy. High five. Get out there in the world and make a difference. I can't be mad at that. Even if it starts happening more often. You can't, if people are disrupting society with personal choices, I don't think you get a say. I don't think you get a say. It's like a couple weeks ago, I'm gonna have to throw this up on screen too, so if I can find some of it. There was this big thing going around with people. Again, the first one. There's dinks. It's called a dink, DINK, which means dual income, no kids. So there's a group of people who are happily in relationships. There's two of them. They're doing everything you would do. They're living together, buying a house, they're cohabitating, all that shit. They just decided to not have children. And for some reason, the internet is like up in arms about it. And I don't really understand. I don't really understand how these two people decide to not have kids, and somehow that makes you need to start tweeting and start being angry and look, this needs to stop. This is out of control. How can something be out of control when the only thing they're really affecting is their own existence? They call them a genetic dead end. You're a genetic dead end. All these people lived all these, thousands of years just to get to you, and you say, I don't want to have kids. That's fair. How's that not fair? It may be that's completely acceptable. All right, so let me throw this up real quick. Have you seen the dink trend at all? Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, it's
I don't
hilarious.
mind it.
Me either. I can't find nothing wrong with it.
I
We're
mean,
dinks.
wasn't
We
there
gotta
a point in our history where we got down to like 10 to 20,000 human beings?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we almost went extinct at one point. I mean, how many genetic dead ends were there by that point? So I don't know. Are we running out of people?
No, not at all. Oh, so
And
we got some comments over here. I'm gonna get back to you, Covey. He says, imagine hating yourself so much. White guilt it's a strange thing. It's like because it seems like when you start to identify the behaviors and stuff that you could just shame the behaviors, but if you didn't do it, like if you didn't kill people, if you didn't spread hate, if you didn't do none of the terrible shit that you're identifying as terrible, why would you feel bad because you're the same color as some of the people who did it?
oh look, allegedly Larry Elder hates his own people.
Right,
Larry Elder
right.
hates black people. Tommy Sotomayor hates black people. According to, the same by the same standards that these white people loathe whiteness, people make the argument all the time. People like Charleston White, they just hate their own people. They hate black people. They loathe black people. You can't find me a black dude willing to cut off his dick because he hates black people that much. You
That's
can't
true.
find it. But you
This
got a
is true.
whole cavalcade of white people saying, look, we're the problem. I want to feel pretty and I want there to be less of us. I'm going to cut my dick in half. I don't see a problem with that.
Me
I
either.
really don't. And then the people who are like, look, white people are the shit. I got to keep making them. You're going to keep fucking. You've
Right.
overseen the fucking of other species for thousands of years. Surely you can oversee your own fucking to make the children that you want. And look, do you really want? I mean, why are you sad about a genetic dead end? Like maybe if you get to the point where your offspring are like, I hate myself, I'm gonna cut my dick off. Maybe you just let it go. Maybe you let it go. Maybe that is nature.
It is.
Maybe Keffels is just obeying Keffels's nature and living out her truth and living her best life. And I don't care to be involved in it or have an opinion about it. The only time I give a fuck about it is when you try to talk to kids about it, because then it gets kind of creepy. Like, oh, yeah, I just want to read to the kindergartners. Oh yeah, all right. You're just gonna be in the library with like the short skirt and some big fake tits, and you might dance a little bit. Yeah, it's no problem. I'm not talking about anything sexual. I'm just meeting with some kindergartners so they know, you know, I'm a drag queen. They've met me, and I give them my number in case they want to talk, in case they got anything on their mind when they get older. Oh, and by the way, in 3 years when they're in third grade, I'm getting them hardcore pornography, so that now it's anchored in their brain. The first thing they're gonna think about, damn, when was the last time I was in the library and I kind of felt tingly like this? Like it was when I read about scissoring with an amputee. Is when I saw that Nat Geo, and oh yeah, it was when Sasha, that broad-shouldered broad, read me the book. She did give me, or he gave. I'm not. I have their number. I'm gonna
I'll
call them
call him
for
and
some
figure it out.
advice because I'm starting to feel some weird feelings, and I bet they could give me some great advice. Like
Yeah.
this is the biggest child molestation scam ever perpetrated on the world since the Catholic Church.
Allegedly.
Like allegedly, we don't have any hardcore proof yet, but Drag Queen Story Hour is sponsored by Wayfair, so I don't know.
Hey, listen. But I want to let the dinks speak for themselves for a second. And anybody who's watching this, whether you're watching it right now during the live stream or if you catch it in the next day or two, please leave me a comment and let me know what is your truthful, honest reaction about people who identify themselves as dinks. I'd love to know.
We're dinks. We go to Trader Joe's and workout classes on the weekends.
We're dinks. We get into snobby hobbies like skiing and golfing.
We're dinks. We can go to Florida on a whim.
We're dinks. We're already planning our European vacation next year.
Dinks. We get a full 8 hours of sleep and sometimes more.
We're dinks. We get desserts and appetizers at restaurants.
We're dinks. We can play with other kids and give them back.
We're dinks. We still do it 3 times a week.
We're dinks. We spend.
That's another thing. I saw a lot of people in the comments saying that 3 times a week is not a flex.
It's really not.
But wait, but I said that if you think 3 times a week is not a flex, I would say that you haven't been in a relationship longer than a year with anybody ever. Because I'm talking about consistently. If you're averaging over time 3 times a week, that's beast mode, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, consistently. I mean, some weeks are crazy, right? Some weeks, but then again, I guess maybe if you don't have any kids. If you do have kids, that's totally different. But it seems to me that, okay, over the course of 5 years, right? I know you've been with your lady longer, but over the course of 5 years, do you think you could say that you average 3 times a week over the course of 5 years? First 6 months of your relationship, definitely. That first summer y'all start hanging out 3 times a week makes perfect sense. But over the course of 5 years, you average 3 times a week?
No, I guess that's fair. I mean, when you break it down like that, I mean, 3 times a week is nothing to be like super impressed about. But I just know for me, I can't keep up. My wife rapes me. I don't have the energy.
Great.
She just makes it happen.
Vineyard.
Yo, takes me to the vineyard. My apologies. My wife takes me to the vineyard for the graping. So I mean that's the only way we put up numbers to compete with 3 a week. Just of on my own, yeah, I'm old, bro. I'm old. So yeah, 3, I guess it's just like to say, hey, I'm justifying not making any children. I get to fuck 3 times a week. I don't know.
Because I think they're saying once you have children and the sleep schedules and the work and everything else and women's postpartum hormones and like shit can fizzle out for a while, but a lot of couples have issues once they have kids and they got to kind of work through it and figure out their footing again. And if kids are waking her up at 3 a.m. or it's all kind of factors. So
yeah, that's fair.
I think what they're bragging about is saying that most people who are opposed to the way they live, who have a wife and kids and a dog and jobs and all that shit, probably don't even have the energy for it that many times a week because you got other shit to do. You got to get up, you got to make lunches,
Yeah,
you got
really
mad
don't.
shit to do. So 3 times a week for the people who are in tradcom relationships, that's probably just straight up hedonism to them. That's like you bugging, bro. 3 times a month, maybe. You know what I'm saying? You gotta count period weeks like that. Bro, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying there's a lot of situations that's gonna fuck up that average over the course of 5 years. And
Yeah,
that's
and so-
assuming that y'all are getting along swimmingly every other week of the month.
that's true. I mean, I know like even that don't stop my girl. If anything, when the period comes, it's more intense. Like, yo, I gotta have you. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
pretty
body.
sure Jews aren't supposed to do this, but am I gonna be gay and say no?
Can't be gay, bro.
No.
That's the body trying to trick you into doing something that you shouldn't be doing. But it's
I've
like,
ate
fuck
shrimp
it.
before. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, no, I can't. It's blood. It's not supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't the Bible instruct you to like build a
Oh, yeah,
separate
you
house
can't.
for like you
Yeah.
got to sleep outside for this week, honey? I'm
That's why
sorry.
that's why Jamaicans are the true Hebrew Israelites. They're the only ones that actually do it. Like, bitch, you can't come in. No.
I gotta burn this house down if you come in here.
Yeah.
Now, Dinks might be on to something.
Spend our discretionary income on $8 lattes.
We're dinks. We max out our 401ks, Roth IRAs, and HSAs.
We're dinks. We don't use our kids or dog as an excuse to leave a party. We just leave. We're dinks. We go to
Yeah, I ain't mad at that at all. And then you got these people. They're like, you will never know what this feels like. It seems like the ones who are coping. I think the TradCon people are coping here.
The internet is just looking for beef. That's all it is. Everybody is a superhero. Everybody's looking for their arch nemesis. Like, oh, did you put something up as like a position? And yeah, well, you I could just yeah, that's you, and that's how you want to move and exist, and that's your choice, and we can coexist, and you do your thing over there, and I do my thing over here. Nope, I need to confront you and tell you that your thing is wrong. My thing is better. It's
Yeah.
all the internet is.
Yep. My thing is better. Oh, we got to be careful scrolling Twitter. I forgot about that.
Oh
Scrolling,
yeah,
scrolling
it's
Twitter on a live
dangerous.
stream. That's very, very dangerous. But yeah, they seem to be super upset. The genetic dead end thing, and I don't know. My thing is better than yours. Fuck you, hooray for me. Whatever you're doing can't be as good for you as the thing that I'm doing that's good for me. There's no way you feel the same chemicals. It's just these are two different people living two different lives, and the only reason I'm even commenting on it is because the 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 people who are complaining about this, they have to blow it up to such a degree to make it feel like a problem to other people. You can't just say like, because it sounds stupid to be like, oh, these people don't live like I live, so they're dumb. Everybody should be doing what I'm doing. That sounds stupid. So they make it seem like it's a threat to humanity, or that they're missing something important in their fucking human experience. Like, you'll never know what it's like to carry a living life. So what? So what? There's a lot of ways to live a fulfilled and complete life as a human. Some of those ways don't include romantic partnerships. Some of those ways don't include having children and being married and living together for the rest of your life. Some people who get married and have children, it ends in divorce and disaster. There's a guy who just, what's that one guy? He's famous. He killed his wife and kid because he had like a new crush at work. He wanted a new crush. Is this chick at work I like.
Yeah.
I want to take her on a date. I'm thinking about it. I don't know, but what's the problem? Well, I'm married with children. Okay, well, you can't take her on a date. Well, what if I just kill my family? Then can I take her on a date?
I don't understand. What did he do wrong? I understand. He wanted to take her on a date. I mean, if you told him those are the rules.
But he got married. And he felt the joy of holding his little girl and this deep soul. Yeah, he killed her. Killed her. Okay, so what are you saying? Oh, there's anomalies. It's not even an anomaly. This shit happens so often, it's just regular. It happens so often, I don't remember his name. Because he's just one more guy that did the shit. So just because a person decides to live without having children or without being like in this traditional existence that you think is the only one for humanity, that traditional existence doesn't guarantee anything. Doesn't guarantee anything. There's a virgin waiting to be married right now whose husband is gonna beat her to death. That's gonna happen. She saved herself for marriage. She didn't have tattoos. She wasn't a whore. She didn't choose the wrong guy. She didn't choose a bad boy. She chose a guy from the church. And then she found out he had a thirst for children. And when she checked his internet browser one day and found out what was going on, he had to get rid of her. This is the shit that happens in the world. And it happens and there's also some single people who don't have kids who are going to have long, miserable lives, and they're going to wish they had children, and they're going to wish they had a husband or a wife. And like, it goes both ways. Every possible iteration of this experience that you can think of is playing itself out right now. And there are no, because if there were real guarantees, if there was something, it may raise your chances of maybe, but if there were any real guarantees, most of humanity would have aligned itself by now. It would have gotten itself in alignment. They would have just followed it. We're like, you know what? This seems to be working for everybody. So let's hop on that train. But that's not the truth. It just doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. But I do think it's funny that it hurts them so bad. Like you're sitting in your house, right? With your wife, your child, your beautiful view. You got a good job. You got money in the bank. And then you see somebody on the internet say, I'm not going to have any kids. I'm just going to drink Starbucks. And that launches you into a tirade of how terrible this decision is and how it's a threat to humanity and how they're going to fuck themselves and you're going to be so miserable. Why don't you just mind your business and enjoy your family? Go bounce your kid on your knee. Why are you on Twitter complaining about the lives of people who you don't like? That kind of makes me feel like you may not be as fulfilled in your in your configuration as you claim. You know, that I'm not for sure, but that could be it. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be making stuff up. But if a dink triggers you, this TradCon life that you're trying to sell us may not be as good of a buy as you claim. I'm just saying. Just saying. But yeah, I thought it was pretty hilarious. I got a good kick out of that one. And Charleston White is trending because he got attacked in the streets
Wasn't
recently.
that a bitch ass move?
A completely bitch ass move.
I was hoping somebody would get popped. You run up on stage. I was actually shocked nobody pulled anything out.
Right. I thought he might let
Rushing the
somebody have it.
stage. Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. I'm like, oh, this is about to be a snuff video. Someone's gonna get shot. Because I don't care. You didn't. If I'm up here on the stage talking shit, you paid money to come see me. What could I possibly say that would warrant you to come on stage? If anything, wouldn't you just leave?
No, that's what they went there for. That's what they went there for. They paid their money to go be offended. It was like, no, I'm gonna buy a ticket, and if I hear that motherfucker say "fuck King Von," it's going down. These are grown men who, and I don't know if that's exactly what it was about. I don't know how it started, but this is what most of the people who got a problem with him have. They got a problem with him talking about gang affiliated rappers and shit like that, and how stupid gang life is. So it's not him. He's not saying nothing bad about anybody in particular. He hears about rappers, they get killed and shit like that, and he's like, yo, fuck that dude. And they're like, oh, that's it. When I see you, I'm gonna hurt you bad because you said fuck this guy. Like, why are you so connected to protecting the legacy of a gang affiliated, possibly mass murdering rapper? Why is this your call? Why is this the thing that gets you on your feet and puts a fire in your belly? All the shit going on in the world, all the shit probably going on in your community, and you're not engaged, you're not on fire enough to go out there and do anything about it. But if somebody says fuck King Von, then it's on site.
It does seem a little silly.
Criminality. We know what criminality is. So
They're trying to get to the vineyard.
exactly. They haven't. I got a little footage of it right here. Let me show a little bit of that because I think Charleston White is one of our greatest truth tellers, and I think he should be protected at all costs. It's just he's a special iteration of the simulation. Now you don't get these, but maybe once in a lifetime if you're lucky.
Let's go. Talk right.
I already got the back here.
Talk right.
I get booed.
Talk right.
I already got the back here. I don't give a damn about getting booed, nigga. I done already got paid. You paid to see me, nigga. You paid to see me. Lakers, chairs, and wine ass, nigga. Pull out some money, though. Pull out some money, though. Pull out some money, though, nigga.
See, you're already wrong because why would you? How do you let a comedian, internet personality on stage get you up on your feet like that? You've already failed this test. You've got to walk out. You need to leave, and you need to come to meetings about masculinity twice a week for the next 3 months.
Bitch ass nigga, pull out some money. Pull up. I'll hit you on your goddamn head, nigga. Pull out some money, nigga. I'll hit you on your goddamn head. Pussy ass nigga. Hit you on your goddamn head. Pussy ass nigga.
And then the other guy got up there and just rushed him. Look at this. This is crazy, bro. They even dressed alike. They're wearing matching jerseys. I imagine they came there with women and they just abandoned the women to go fight.
I've never worn the same outfit as a buddy.
Never.
For friend, hey buddies, you want to go out? We're gonna all wear Lakers jerseys.
No, never. I've been in a literal rap group. And I never dressed the same as the guys in my group. It never happened. But these two are out of the comedy show wearing matching clothes and getting in a fight with a man about words. Make it make sense. And you see what the caption is here. This is what happens when you talk tough and think it's sweet. This is what these men are on the internet today. They can't even understand how ridiculous and ignorant they look and sound to the rest of the world. They celebrate this shit openly. They tore Charleston White ass up. Y'all happy about this? About seeing more black men attacking black men on the internet with no good reason. Coming to blows at a comedy show. rolling around on the ground, fighting each other over words. Nobody's mama died. Nobody owe anybody no money. Nobody got killed. They got to get back at the ops. Like, this didn't happen. It's a guy who talks on the internet, and you don't like some of the stuff he says, so you attack him at a comedy show and roll around on the ground with him. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if this is, if this is how you want to be seen in the world, if this is what you think is worth your energy, I guess. Yeah, most people are really upset about this. Not upset. Most people are celebrating him finally being attacked because they don't like the way he talked. And he said, Kevin Samuel said, a lot of people have said over the years, these are men who have been raised by single women because they're emotional. They can't control themselves. They hear words and they want to fight. They just, they carry themselves not like just an effeminate in a way that a woman would, but a broken woman who has not healed her trauma. Most women who get loud and get aggressive in arguments and shit like that, most of them don't really have an index for how dangerous those situations can get because not very many of them have been manhandled. So they don't really know what's going on. So they talk and they say shit and they're under the impression that nobody's going to do anything to them because they're women. And whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. That's a whole different conversation. Me personally, y'all probably know where I stand on this. I think if anybody who initiates violence can get violence enacted back on them, I don't care what their gender configuration is, no matter what, Wasted Again says, how as a society have we been sagging pants for 40 years?
Has it been that long?
Has it though?
I
Wait.
think so. I think maybe 30.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing it before the 90s. I don't remember it ever being an 80s thing. Could be wrong, but I remember it distinctly.
Yeah, it says 90s. Popularized by hip-hop musicians in the 90s. Often claim that the style originated from the prison system where belts are sometimes prohibited.
That's not what everybody used to say in school, though.
Yeah.
There was also the more black righteous explanations like, look, man, slaves ain't have belts, bro.
Right, I can take it back to slaves.
Slaves ain't have belts, and so neither do I. So this is to commemorate the slaves that worked without belts. I let my pants sag.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. I don't know how it's been going on for so long. You know what the problem is?
What?
The problem is blackness as a whole is so idolicized, if that's the right word. It's so pedestalized that nobody is picking it apart for the pieces that are beneficial to, like, I like the dancing, that's cool. I love the musicality, I love that. But the violence and the sagging and the prison culture, the gang shit, I'm not gonna do that part. It's like, no, you got to take it all or nothing. Either you be a au-fait cracker white boy, or you get down with me, get a tattoo teared on your face, and kill somebody in your family. One or the other. You can't be half in over here. You got to take the full plunge if you want to love blackness. I don't know why, but it just is. It feels dangerous, so people love it. They watch it like they do a scary documentary. It makes you feel like you had a near-death experience just listening to a DMX album. Get your heart rate up and shit. You're like, damn, I feel like I just survived a shootout. And I get it, it's a fun little thing, but sometimes you got to be able to dissect shit. And it's not that Negroes are any better at it because they're living it out firsthand. But the fact that other people are picking it up from outside of the culture, because the Negroes have an excuse for doing it. The bleeps have an excuse. And the excuse that the bleeps use is post-traumatic slave syndrome. I don't really buy it, but at least they have something. Wasted says rap needs to die. Rap does not need to die, sir. I've been listening to jazz from the 20s and 40s. That shit sounded so good. No, that's a fact. That's great music. I don't think rap itself needs to die. I think matter of fact, none of it needs to really die. I think if people evolve in a very specific way, they won't desire it anymore. And it'll kind of just fizzle out on its own. But there's a large sector of the population that for some reason desires what they're delivering, because you can't manufacture that type of success. Because if you got a, I don't care who it is, you take a rapper and his whole motif is I'm a bum and I'm addicted to drugs, I don't have no job, I live behind a liquor store. I don't give a shit how much money you put behind him, how much, you know, influence you could give him to Leor Cohen. Leor Cohen cannot make that guy a star. You can't. Leor Cohen couldn't go find somebody and just feed them to the public. It had to be something that the public already wanted. Now, rap isn't going to age out because it's not different from any other music. You know, especially now, everybody's taking bits and pieces from hip hop to kind of boost their own recognition and their own sales. If you listen to some of the biggest pop country songs right now, it's just rap music with a different cadence. You know what I'm saying? He might not have gold teeth, he might not be sagging his pants, but it's the same shit. It ain't like, you know, Clint Black or whatever sitting on his porch singing about his truck no more. It's like, I got big wheels on my Cadillac. Like, they're doing the same shit. They're talking the same shit. They're boasting. Like, it's not very different. That part of humanity is not going anywhere. That's why Muhammad Ali was so popular. The boasting, the rhymes, and like, it's just something that people dig. It's not going to go anywhere. It's the content that makes it a little bit more problematic when you got people rapping about gang activity and murder and shit that's actually happening in the streets. It's not like they're playing a character. You know, he's playing Al Pacino's playing Scarface. That's not what's going on here. These people are almost required to live the life that they talk about on records. So if you take somebody like, now Talib Kweli's an anomaly, people like Mos Def, there's been a lot of successful backpacker rap, they call it, underground, positive type of stuff. There's been a lot of people who's successful in that. None of them has ever been successful as the people who talk about murder and death and violence, and that's the shit that's digestible for people. It just is. You think there was rap at the same time that NWA was popular, there were rap groups who were wearing Africa pendants and dancing with each other like, we got to get ourselves together. Like, they was doing the same type of shit, but they had a completely different message, and the world looked at them and said, these motherfuckers is corny. But when you got these guys who say, I'm the dope man, I'm gonna kill somebody, shoot the cops, all that kind of shit, sell 1 million records. It exists, but it exists in silence and darkness if nobody else has a desire for it. It goes away if nobody has a desire for it. But if you find this guy and he's just screaming fuck on the record and 1 million people buy it, can you even say he's wrong? Can you say something? No. You got to address the demand before you address the supply. Because if you try to lock down the supply, people are just going to find other ways to get it. They're going to go underground. They're going to go do a whole bunch of shit. They're just going to get it anyway. You got to address the demand. You take away the demand, the supply evolves into something else that's in demand. People are just going to go to it. I love jazz. I mean, there's no competition between what a rapper is and what a heavy metal musician is. There's not really, I mean, it takes extreme level of skill and talent to play fucking guitar and drums and shit like that. You also need a guy who's going to write your song. So like the rappers being able to put lyrics together and all of that shit, it's all talent and it's all skill. But an actual band who plays instruments, to me, is definitely a big difference between that and somebody who kind of rips pieces from old records and loops it and puts better drums on it or some shit like that. Like, yeah, that's a little cut and pasty, but it's also something that was born out of poverty. So this was, this is what was needed at the time. I don't think rap has evolved much in how it's being done from back then up until now. I don't see much difference in rap. I see the content is definitely going further and further down, in my opinion, but that's just because I don't partake in that lifestyle. I'm not at the clubs. If I was in the clubs and if I was driving around with a Uzi in my car and I had a warrant out for my arrest, I might like current rap music a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it would be cooler to me, but I'm not into none of that shit, so none of it resonates with me. I listen to more reggae than anything else. and I listen to old rap usually when I do. There's a few newer guys that I listen to, like J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar or somebody like that. But I'm not listening. The most popular and highest paid rappers and shit, like, I don't listen to any of those motherfuckers. I could barely understand what they're saying. I'm definitely aging out of being able to just vibe with this music in a meaningful way, especially the newer shit. It just don't work for me. It don't work. But the demand is the demand. There's people out here who love this shit, and it's something that is tapping into. It's some type of suffering that is tapping into, some type of existential despair and dread. There's something going on, and that's why this shit is so big. They're feeding the need that the people have. So if you're feeding the need that the people have, you're gonna make money. And that's one of the ways that's like what we're doing. We're trying to figure out with making videos and shit like that, how to feed something that people have a desire for without totally compromising your own morality or your own existence. Like, I don't want to spend time trying to fucking edit videos or make content about shit that I truly don't care about just because I think it's gonna bring some views. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a middle ground where you can take what people want, you know, package it up, package the thing you're doing, and maybe deliver it to people and find some type of success in that, which is awesome that you have that capability to do it these days. But different people are going to apply themselves at different levels. That's just the way this shit goes. If you can jump on a record and mumble, if you can get on a record and go, I don't say no shit, but I don't bang no shit, and it sells you 1 million copies and it makes you $700,000, who the fuck am I to tell you?
That?
You can't. There's no argument. There's no way to extract money from the system like that's that equivalent. You can't go to try to be a fucking carpenter and just put shit together bad and wrong and terrible and make a bunch of money doing it. The market don't work like that. So
do
there's
something meaningful
right.
And be broke.
Right. Yeah, put your whole heart and soul into it, and then you could be a poor righteous teacher for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, rap. He says, if you played me Taylor Swift all day and night, I'd be a Swiftie. Like, people are being force fed it, and it's kind of just being engineered, socially engineered into society. That's a possibility, but I don't know the percentage, the over under again. I don't know the percentage of with the people who are record executives, the labels and shit. I don't know how much they want to influence social politics and influence the world and the way we deal with each other, the way we talk, the way we dress, how much they want to do that versus how much they want to capitalize off the market that's already existing and make as much money as possible. Like, do they want to socially engineer society to be more aggressive and violent, or do they just want to make money because that's what people are consuming? I don't know. I don't know that they are signing gangster violent rappers because it's like, yes, this will trickle down into the black community and even more of them would murder each other. Like, I don't know. I can't see that. What I can see is these motherfuckers seem to like violent music. Let's give them more because it's making me a lot of money. That just seems like the path of least resistance for me. They could be super nefarious. They could be like going to find these rappers and making them MK Ultra, Project Monarch, you know, sleeper cells and shit. It could be. I just don't see. I don't see it going that deep when you could just be in it to make money. If you became a record executive tomorrow, okay, perfect example. Wasted. Somebody shows up on your doorstep tomorrow and says, "We got a reality show going. We decided to let a person run a successful business and see if they can keep it successful or if they run it into the ground. So we decided to give you Def Jam Records or whatever it is. We decided to give you a record label. So we're going to bring you to the record label. You get 3 days to learn how everything runs. And then we're going to fucking, you know, hands off. It's up to you to run the record label. From that day forward, do you say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to find some jazz. We're going to get some rappers that talk about loving their mothers and being good fathers. We're going to have him pull his pants up. He's going to be clean cut. None of that cussing and drug shit. Do you experiment with the audience by trying to throw out a bunch of heartfelt, meaningful shit? Or do you just be like, okay, what's on the roster? All right, we got fucking, you know, MC Killer Nigga is about to drop his new mixtape called Murder on My Mind. And you're like, all right, well, green light it. Fuck it. This shit's making money. Which one do you do? if you know what is being consumed by the audience, you know what type of money you can make by doing it, do you roll the dice, try to change the world by doing something that you think is, heartfelt and soulful, or do you just let the machine continue printing money the way it's been printing money for the last 30 years? Right. He said if I owned a record label, I'd be forced to capitulate. Absolute facts. And that's what I'm saying. You don't need a super villain mentality to let this shit happen. All you need to know is A plus B equals C, and C is money. So this plus that means I get paid big. Okay, do it. I'm not actually killing anybody. I don't have to dump toxic waste into a rivers and all the native people are going to die. And that happens there too. They're just like, look, let's let it. I'm not here to change anything. I'm the new CEO. If y'all been dumping glowing green barrels in the Amazon, don't stop on my account, bro. I just want my paycheck. That's it. I just want to make sure I get paid. You don't need to be. Maybe the person who set it up, you did that and let the machine keep running. But you don't need to be an evil genius to see where the money's being made and then not really do anything to stop it or to change it. And that's what I think is going on more than anything else. I think people consume shit a certain way, and when motherfuckers start seeing those trends, you got to make those type of adjustments a lot. In a business, in a successful business, you got to see trends coming. You got to be able to project what's going to happen 6 months from now. Is this going to affect it? Is that going to affect it? So you got to be making slight adjustments all the time. And the more you make slight adjustments to follow that money, one day you wake up and look at what your business is and what you're promoting and what's out here in the world, and you're like, "What? How the fuck did I get here?" You was following the numbers. What happened last week? We got a 22% uptick on from Twitter last week. What happened on Twitter? Oh, some footage got shown of one of our rival record label rappers got shot in New Orleans, and they think that the rapper from our label shot him. So his mixtape went through the roof. Everybody started streaming his mixtape because he got a song on there called "I Shot the Ops." So now everybody's listening to the song "I Shot the Ops." One of his ops got shot, so they think he did it, and he just sold fucking 400,000 more units. Okay, well, I guess that's what's happening. It's nothing you can do. When you're looking at those numbers and you seeing what the world, you might be disgusted by yourself. You might be disgusted at what's happening, but that don't mean you throw the money away. I'm sorry, bro. This simulation that we're in, money makes a big difference. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who can make money and you're not directly hurting somebody, you're not directly trying to be a negative influence on somebody's life. They was hating on Leo Cohen a couple weeks ago. Leo ain't do nothing, bro. All Leo did was make black millionaires. That's all he did. You got DMX rapping about having sex with dead bodies, and they point at Leo. Like, why would you do this? Why did he write that, though? You think Leo was in the studio? Like, there's not enough necrophilia on this record, X. He didn't give a fuck. He just knew what was going to sell. X is like, yeah, I got something for you. And he was right. Millions of copies. Right? It's nothing you can do. 1 billion served. You don't go on McDonald's and be like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to change everything into vegan veggie burger. Like, what the fuck? Get out of here. We make our burgers with horse and sawdust. That's allegedly. But that shit's been working pretty damn good. I think the fries need to be a little thicker. I know it's going to cost it. Fired. Get the fuck out of here, bro. We didn't bring you in here for that. This machine running like a well-oiled machine. We don't need you coming in here shaking shit up with no evidence that it's going to get us paid. The vegan restaurant chains be getting shut down. The only place in the world they can survive is like fucking, some of those leftist states. You might be able to get away with it in California, maybe Colorado or something. What's those type of places? You can get away with it there, but you in the heart of New York, you in New Jersey, shit like that. No, we need our burgers, horse and sawdust. This is what we do. So I get it. I totally understand it. I've probably crippled myself a bunch of times by not wanting to follow trends and shit that I thought was not worth me following. You leave so much money on the table, bro. One of the first times I realized that, the first time it hit me that I personally could have done something that could have possibly made me a bunch of money, but my brain doesn't deliver those messages to me in that way. It didn't. Now it does a little bit more because we have our resident, you know, I don't want to say anything about bloodlines or genetic dispositions, but we have a person who is extremely frugal monetarily, you know, very good with investments and those kind of things, if you can put two or two together. So since we've been in league, I think a little bit differently now. But the first time I realized that my brain was making me miss out on money, it was when Osama bin Laden got killed. And there was a guy who put up a website for a t-shirt that had Osama bin Laden on it. It had a gun target and said something like "we got him," or it had the date of his murder. So it looked like a fucking No Limit mixtape. It was a terrible design, but he put it up on the t-shirt mock-up, and he put up the website before he had a full design, before he had, well, he designed it, but before he had like a real screen printable design, before he had a t-shirt vendor. He had nothing but the idea, and he put the website online. And he made, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, he made $60,000 over the weekend. And then he gets to take that money, press the t-shirt, send them out to people. When it was all said and done, I think in about a month, he had made over $100,000. He made 60 grand over the weekend because he decided to celebrate the death of a terrorist. At that time, my brain would have never in a million years delivered me to the place, yo, a guy died, we should make a t-shirt celebrating it and post it online with no t-shirt. We don't have no t-shirts, no inventory. We have done nothing. But let's post this on the website as if it's real and let people give us their money. I would have never thought to do that. But he did it, made 100 grand in a month. I'd love 100 grand in a month. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a moral argument somebody could make about why that t-shirt was in bad taste or something, but you can't argue with $100,000. No children died. Nobody's missing. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got hit over the head with a club. Nobody got shot in a bank robbery, but I got 100 grand in my bank. That's very, very difficult to argue with. I'm sorry. So I think differently now. I think a little bit differently about how things can be approached, you know, how opportunities can be attacked to make money. And who the fuck cares? Like, if it fits your morality, it's fine. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what other people have to say about it. If you can sleep at night and wake up in the morning like, yep, yeah, I made a song last night about the guy I murdered a week ago. No, I really killed him a week ago. I'm going to make a song about it now, and I'm going to say in the song that I killed him a week ago. If that mixtape makes you a bunch of money, you on tour, and now you can flex in your videos with 40 grand, stacks of money, you hold it up to your ear like a phone, what can I say? And if hip-hop finds out that you actually didn't kill the person, you lied about killing the person, that's when you lose the money. You don't lose the money because you killed a guy and rapped about it. Your stock goes down if you didn't kill a guy, but you said you killed a guy in a rap. If you really did it, we'll make you rich. But if you're not an actual killer, you're canceled. It's paradoxical. I can't figure it out. I have no idea. Rappers are also a lot easier to manipulate, mainly because they're younger in general. Like if there's a jazz artist who commands any type of attention, if he can sell out a venue with just his name, if you can book Winfred Marsalis or whoever it is, and they can sell out a venue at a jazz club or whatever, that person is probably over 40. I can't imagine that there's a bunch of popping 25-year-old jazz artists. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. Rappers are like 18. Easy to manipulate, easy to take advantage of. You know, they're going to sign terrible contracts. And if you're lucky, they'll get killed in a year or two, and then you get to own their catalog and make all the money off it. So you can't really manipulate jazz guys like that. They're too old and frizzled. You know, they're grizzled. They're tough. They've been through a lot. That's why they're able to play good jazz and shit. They've been divorced, and you can't manipulate those guys. You can't play those motherfuckers. A rapper, a 17-year-old rapper that can barely talk and has gold teeth in his mouth and 20 grand in his pocket, but no job. Yeah. That guy you can manipulate, for sure. For sure.
Teach your children to have taste.
Yeah.
You can't convince me whack shit isn't whack. I just don't believe it. You can play the same shit over and over and over, but if it's trash, and you're not susceptible to trash, you're not going to be interested. And
Yeah.
you know what group I thought of when you were talking about that was the Far Side. I used to love the Far Side,
Yeah.
and there was so many people like, man, them dudes is gay. Them dudes is just gay. They're gay
Yep.
homosexuals. I'm
Yep.
like, what? What is it? But they're talking. They're having jokes and shit. They didn't murder anybody.
That's what makes them gay.
Right. It's just the demand. Like, no, 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 no. You can't be. If you're from California, you need to sound like NWA. Or what's the point?
Yeah. It's a wild
So
one, man.
there's pressure from the market. It's the demand.
Yep.
And you could be the executive of Def Jam and say, you know what? I'm not doing that. That shit is whack. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put out positive shit. And then you're fired because like, yo, earnings are down. I appreciate this principled stance, person to person. You know, me and you. Between me and you, I appreciate your principled stance. The investors are not happy. Shares are down. They are not happy. So
Yeah,
I
but this guy,
appreciate.
his debut album was about how much he loved his people and he wanted to repair the culture. And I mean, I thought that was a better
Oh no, I
investment.
got it. I got it.
No, we
Nobody
understand.
gives a fuck. Yeah, nobody cares.
Where's that guy
Nobody
who said he
cares.
had sex with dead bodies? Where's he at? You mean DMX?
If you got a daughter that's at least 15, it's grapes.
I'm taking her to the vineyard.
She's vineyard bound.
Well, he did say older than 15, so he has some.
He's not an animal.
He's not a complete animal. He said older than 15, so come on. Can we get him back in here, or
It sounds reasonable.
it's the money, man. I've always been a proponent of that. It's not fair to attack the demand. I mean, to attack the supply before you attack the demand. I could be wrong, but I that's just how I feel about it. You know, somebody's fucking. Even when it comes to drugs, there's a reason people are overdosing on fentanyl while their children are playing in the park. There's a reason. You know, I go to, there was somebody who went to pick up their kids from school and decided to get high in the parking, you know, the line where you park your car.
Yeah.
They got high, overdosed, and died in the car waiting to pick the kids up from school.
I mean,
That's not about-
traumatic.
That's not about the supply of fentanyl. Something else is going on there. Something else is happening. There's some type, and maybe it's not the government or society's job to figure out what's the matter with you, to unravel all of your trauma and figure out how to help you so that you don't need drugs. Maybe that's not society's job. Maybe you would rather take on the Sisyphean task of fighting the supply. Maybe. That's just what and there could be instances where one thing may be better than the other, shit like that. But I think as a baseline principle, find out why the people desire it before you just try to take it off the table and get rid of it. You know, because you're just going to end up with a black market for it now. Yeah, most rap music is not that good. Well, in my opinion, and I say not that good as in because you can't really argue with shit that's selling. It's a music business, right? So if the music is selling, by that definition, the music is good because it's successful, it's effective. So to put your personal your personal perspective into that and say the music is not good, that's a little rough. That's kind of hard for me to process. I don't really. Good music, bad music doesn't sell. It doesn't have an audience. There's nowhere to go. It's not going to sell. You can't sell 1 million copies of bad music. It's never happened. I would implore anybody who hears this and share this to some people. Share this to your friends. Share it on Twitter. All of that good stuff. Find me an album that sold 1 million or more copies and is bad. It's terrible. Terrible album. I'm interested. I'd love to see it. So break it down for me. When you get an opportunity, find me some music that that's bad and sold millions of copies. I want to analyze it from my own personal records. I would have. That's how I felt about Master P. Most kids can't read an analog clock. That's a fact. That's a fact. But is that a bad thing? Most kids can't write cursive. But what the fuck is cursive? Some fancy Euro shit? Like, who cares? Can't read it. And how many analog clocks are around? How many situations are you going to be in?
Man.
How many situations are you going to be in where you need to read an analog clock? I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying that's fine. I'm just saying, who cares, right? Like, can't read an analog clock. He's probably got a phone in his pocket that can fucking tell you what time it is on every continent. Master P. Master P may be the best example of that ever. I've never heard a Master P song that I liked. He's one of the most successful rap artists in the history of the genre. Not many people have made more money than him.
No, not only have it made more money than him, all of your favorite rappers that you would argue are infinitely more talented musically, lyrically than anything he ever put out, they didn't earn anywhere close to the percentage he earned for each album.
Right.
So not only was he outselling those dudes, even if he wasn't outselling, even if he was selling half of what they were selling,
yep,
he would have came out ahead. So I mean, I don't know how you argue with that result. Like, clearly there's a demand.
Yep.
And I don't know, unless that changes, then it's hard to make the argument like don't give people what they want. Everybody's a drug dealer. Everybody with a product in the market. A drug is something you don't need, but you feel like you got to have it. It's not really adding too much value to your life. It's not food, right? It's not something you got to have, but you just want it and you're going to get it, even if it fucks shit up in your life. Yep. So I don't know. So even, this music is poisoning me, but fuck it. No, this is trash. But this is what people want. They keep coming back for more.
Yeah. And this is what's happening on multiple levels, multiple layers. This is what's happening with our food. Literally. Sugar is the devil's dandruff.
Without a doubt.
It is absolutely murderous on our bodies. But it's also deeply connected to shit like nostalgia and your childhood when everything was fine. There's nothing will remind your body of a time when everything was perfect than sugar. Because that's when you can eat cake and honey buns and shit like that. You woke up in the morning, you ate colorful fucking cereal made of sugar. Everything was perfect. The cartoons were on. There was no bills. So that's the signal you're giving your body every time you eat sugar. Simpler times. That's why it's so hard to break. It's comfort. It's comfort food. We know what it's doing to us. The information's out there. The big sugar cartel may not want you to know it, but it's all out there. You know what's going on. The heart disease, the cancer, the stomach cancers, all kind of shit. Absolutely destructive. But I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm going to drink this coffee that's actually just half a cup of sugar. Fuck it. Feels good. I'm going to pay him $8 for it. They got some lemonade at Panera Bread that's fucking killing people. You heard about that shit?
No, not even a little bit.
Bro.
Lemonade, okay. Regular old lemonade?
Well, it's charged. let me pull this up real quick.
Charged with what?
Charged lemonade. Okay. So let me get this up. Okay, take that down and put this up. Okay, so Panera Bread has a lemonade called a charged lemonade. And Panera charged lemonade blamed for second death. Lemonade that kills you. It's caffeinated lemonade. It has 390 milligrams of caffeine. The 30-ounce size is large. 390 milligrams of caffeine, about 4 times the amount found in a cup of coffee. Exceptional amount of caffeine. And it's on tap in Panera Bread. It's not something you got to order. They give it to you. So you get free refills.
Jesus.
And people are drinking 7 or 8 of them sitting in Panera Bread, like with your laptop, you're just hanging out. It's not a place you eat and leave, technically. It's like a coffee shop. People hang out there. So if you hang out there and there's something on tap, ain't nothing on tap at Starbucks. You're going to order another one if you want another one. And Panera's like, nah, some juice in the back. Go ahead, drink as much as you want. And people are back there pounding it, all the sugar, all the caffeine, and then they leave it and having fucking heart attacks, dying. And Panera's like, not our bad. Not our bad, bro. It's just lemonade. We're fine. You guys are the ones who are drinking too much of it. And I say they shouldn't don't put no more warning labels on it. Let them know how much is in there. But I'm not a nerf the world kind of guy. I'm also the guy who doesn't think that when somebody crawls into a cave that they shimmy into on their belly, it's like a birth canal, and you can't get back out and you get stuck and die in it. I don't think they should fill it up with concrete to stop other people from going in. Why? How many people do you think are going to go in this little ass space and kill themselves? 5, maybe 10 over the course of 20? That's acceptable. If this is what you want to do. You woke up this morning, you bought equipment, you got a hard hat with a light on it, you got some $100 boots, you got all kind of clips and rope, and you got a GoPro. You got mad shit. It's not like you were looking for shelter because you were so destitute in life you had to crawl into a cave to survive. No, you were hanging out. You were just having fun, right? You were just party time. So you decided to go in a cave, and you slithered into the cave. You couldn't get out, and you died in there. My bad. Okay. I mean, sucks, but I'm not pouring concrete in the cave. Y'all just gonna have to stop going in there or keep dying. Totally up to you. Totally up to you. It's not a cave that you can slip and fall into. It's not a sinkhole that just opens up under you, swallows you up. No, you traveled there. It's called the devil's womb. You crawled into the devil's womb and died in there. I kind of feel like, that's the price of admission. You got what you paid for. Maybe insensitive. I'm open to being called insensitive. I get that. But we can't nerf the world for what a small amount of people are going to do to themselves. And so Panera, fuck it, bro. Leave that shit on tap. Don't take no caffeine out of it. Only 2 people have died. A lot of people have drank that drink. Only 2 of them have
Millions.
died. A lot of people. So that means, hey.
There's more people that are vaccine injured.
Allegedly.
I mean, it's nothing.
But
it's barely anything.
I say Panera, add a little bit more caffeine. That's what I say. Not a whole lot. Don't try to kill people on purpose. But it's at 390 milligrams. Just make it like a cool 400. Cool 400 milligrams on a large drink. It's a 30 ounce. I remember when drinking 40 ounces of something was a bad thing. The 30 ounce drink with 390 milligrams of caffeine. I say make it a 40 ounce drink with 400 milligrams. 4 and 4. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're croaking people off this shit, son. People are straight up dying from a drink. Not from because it was allergic. There was some peanuts in there. No. Too much caffeine blew my heart up. Fucking ridiculous. But shout out to Panera Bread, bro, for standing their ground.
Yeah.
Like, nah, B, you ain't gonna play with us like that.
It's a you problem.
Yeah, it is. 100% a you problem. I say people should go. Everybody should go to Panera Bread and just taste it. Get a large. Don't drink it all in one sitting though. Take a few sips, see how you feel, see if it buzzes you up, if it does what it's supposed to do, and just report back. Let us know what's going on with that shit. I want one now. I don't know if that was the intended marketing, but I want one now. I want to have.
I'm
one.
A little afraid.
I'm just gonna put some ice in it. I'll let the ice melt for a few minutes before I drink it, and I'm not gonna pound it. I'm not gonna pound it. I'm not gonna guzzle it. I'm gonna sip.
I don't know how scientific that is. I don't know. Just be careful.
No, I equate short sips to quick strokes.
I'm sold. Never mind. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little short
It's just
sips.
science.
It's just science. Quick strokes, same thing. As long as you're not dilly-dallying, you're not guzzling, that's how you kill yourself.
This is a tried and true principle.
It is. It absolutely is. I'm pretty sure we've proven it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, man. Shit's crazy out here. Shit's crazy. We need to evolve on a cellular level. That's what humans need to do overall. It's metaphysics will be fucked. Only thing I'm trying to do is enjoy the experience as much as I possibly can. And some of that enjoyment comes from detachment. I can't deeply care about everything because I won't have enough room to function in life. You know what I'm saying? So some shit you got to cut your losses. Some of this shit is like the sandbags on a hot air balloon. If you wanna get the altitude that you need to get to, you got to cut some of them sandbags off. Can't be crippled by your compassion for everything and your want for people to stop suffering and all of that. If you really, really want to change the world and you really want people to stop suffering, get rich. Do your absolute best to get rich. Get as much money as you possibly can. And once you got the money, ask yourself, do I still want to save the world? Because chances are you might just want to kick back, enjoy your TV, your Netflix. You want to enjoy your yacht on a 100-foot screen you can watch movies on. You might want to just start living a lavish life. You may not care about fixing the water in Flint. You may not care about stopping children from starving. Once you get rich, it's easy to say from down here when everybody's just hustling to stay alive. Everything could be better. We should do more. It's easy to say from down here. For some reason, the rich folks ain't saying it that much. I'm personally interested to know why. So for now, I'm retracting as much compassion as I possibly can to just try to get rich. And if I can redeploy the compassion once I'm rich, then maybe I hack the matrix. But that for now, that's what I'm doing. I'm just focusing on the money right now. And we'll see if I still have the desire to change the world afterwards. I hope so, but I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm going to be authentic to myself. Right now, I want humans to be better. Later on, I might just want a Bentley. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. We're not obligated to do anything but make it through this life in the best possible way we can. Everything else is extra. When stop and feed the homeless guy, that's superhero shit. Don't let anybody convince you that that's just the bare minimum for being a human, is to help other people. And that's not. It's really not. The bare minimum is to mind your business and get through this life. If you helping people, you doing something above and beyond, that's hero shit, bro. That's big. That's huge. And I know a lot of people, especially people on the left, would like you to think that that's the least you can do. It's really not. That's huge shit. It's not a guarantee. It's not a requirement for human existence. You can do whatever the hell you want. Oh, my bad. I had the freaking screen on the wrong thing. Sorry about that, anybody who's watching. But yeah, man, it's the same thing. We here trying to figure this simulation out and trying to extract as much resources from it as we possibly can. That seems to be the hustle. And I think we a little bit closer than we were yesterday, closer than we were a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, a little bit closer to it. So make sure y'all keep tuning in, hollering at us, showing us love. Make sure you visit the website if you get the opportunity, swtko.art. And like I said, we got art there. We got original canvas art, prints, T-shirts, clothing, all kind of cool shit. And if you enter the code gratitude, that's right there on the screen, you get free shipping on any orders over $50. So definitely come holler at us over there. If you get the opportunity and you want to show some love, we also still have our Gumroad, which is our paywall, where you can get the full uncut conversations and full access to the entire archives that are currently being removed from YouTube. We're taking all our old episodes down, especially because they've been like striking us and community guidelines shit, medical misinformation, all that good stuff. Taking all the videos down. They're getting moved over to Gumroad, which is our paywall. It's only, the bottom tier is only $25 a year. So definitely $25 a year I think is affordable. So if you feel like showing us some love, you can head over to the Gumroad, and I'm gonna have the link. I'll put the link in the description of the video here. Show us some love over there, and that's where most of our
appreciate
uncut.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
That's where our uncut conversations are going to be from now on, because it's safer. This YouTube channel is probably going to be mostly for short clips, scripted content, that kind of thing. But the uncut, raw conversations are getting reined in so much right now because of YouTube threats. It just made sense for us to move them to someplace else, so we at least have the content, and YouTube can't just delete our videos for medical misinformation. That'll be up to us.
And we'll have produced content coming soon. So thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. We're working on that. We got, I mean, shit that we personally think is hilarious. So I hope everyone else enjoys it too. If you've been sticking around with us for a while, from the people who've been watching since the beginning to the people who hopped on after the illustrious Devon gave us a link into some of his followers. They've been showing up for us a lot, listening to the conversation. So we appreciate y'all. But just if you get a chance, like I said, dip over to the Gumroad and think about, you know, shooting us $25 a year to keep these conversations going. And as we grow, we will come up with more perks and more tiers for people that want to get involved on a deeper level. So for now, the best way to support us is to keep listening, keep sharing the show, visit the website, cop a t-shirt, cop a canvas painting if you're so inclined, or whatever, you know, whatever you feel. Just go check it out. And just if you want to just go check it out and leave us some feedback here in the comments or on Twitter, we're totally open to that too. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the shop and about the items that's available there. So yeah, definitely comment, give us some feedback, let us know how you're feeling, what you'd like to hear us talk about, what you'd like to see in the shop, anything like that. Definitely. We're always open. And the Discord is getting prepped also for the people who subscribe to the Gumroad. We'll have some Discord where we can have deeper conversations, one-on-ones. You know, it's a lot cooking. So basically, keep listening here for the updates, but definitely in the meantime, head over to our Gumroad page and think about subscribing over there to get the uncut conversations that are coming down the pipeline. But yeah, man, with that being said, we absolutely appreciate everybody for tuning in and for listening. As always, this is what we do it for, man. We're trying to figure things out. Everything don't always make sense, but, you know, practical mysticism for the modern dilemma. That's what we specialize in. We are the greatest think tank ever assembled. I mean, we've said that a million times. No debate. It's not like it's up for conversation. We literally have already given the world the ideas that will save it. We're just under the veil of invisibility right now. You know, not enough people see us, not enough people hear us to grab onto these things and put them into practice. So that's what, you know, we're just going to keep grinding, keep hustling until we extract enough revenue to put it into practice for ourselves. Oh, that's the game. That is the game. I think YouTube let us ride this time. They didn't give us no issues. Hopefully, I don't think anybody said anything too spicy this week, so I think we'll be all right. But other than that, man, if you have anything else you wanted to touch on before we get out of here?
Absolutely not.
Excellent. Well, I think we've done the work for today. As usual, I appreciate you, brother, for making time and always being available to mine this practical mysticism from the well of absurdity. And yeah, man, I think we'll probably be linking up soon, I'm sure, with get some more good content out into the world.
Yeah, I gotta get this barbecue out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Levitical barbecue secrets, man. It's out here, y'all. I'm telling you, we got so much good shit coming for y'all. I think y'all are gonna appreciate it, man. So, but we on the job. We on the job. Like you said, we appreciate your patience. We are still, you know, attached to the machine at the hip. So we give this as much time as we possibly can, and it's going down. So tune back in with us as soon as we can get another video up. Stay on the lookout. Check here, check Twitter, and link up if you're on Gumroad. Link up with us over there to get all of the updates. But until then, you guys enjoy the rest of the evening. Enjoy this week upcoming. And if you got any ideas for topics and things you want us to talk about, hit us on Twitter or Instagram. The links are in the description. So, yeah, man, that's it for us tonight. We have been the Cult of Dangerous Gentlemen. Metaphysics or we're fucked. This is the way.
Dola.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Always a pleasure, sir. Always a pleasure. Peace.